as a seasoned teacher myself, I can wholeheartedly relate to Professor McGonagall's wisdom and compassion. Her life experiences have undoubtedly molded her into a remarkable figure who knows when to step in and lend a helping hand, be it to a student in need or a fellow teacher feeling down. Uh, at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, uh, Professor Minerva McGonagall serves as the head of Gryffindor House and the deputy headmistress. This makes her a significant figure in Harry Potter's daily life at the school. Um, a gifted witch, she excels in transfiguration and maintains a balance between firmness and fairness when dealing with Harry and his friends, who often find themselves in trouble for their mischief making. And in the Harry Potter series, Dame Maggie Smith brilliantly portrayed Professor McGonagall by blending the stern and disciplinary aspects of her character with the compassion and understanding that made her a complex figure. Yeah. Uh, she provides emotional support to Harry when he would otherwise lack it. It's only Smith who could have delivered the memorable lines attributed to McGonagall, uh, making her one of the most frequently quoted characters in the series. McGonagall is known for never shying away from expressing her opinions or ensuring that Harry Potter characters receive their due characters. Although Harry may not realize it, Minerva stands firmly by his side against Dumbledore and any others who she believes aren't acting in his best interests. Throughout the series, McGonagall serves as both a teacher and a maternal figure that Harry seeks. In the novels and films, McGonagall continues to be an exceptional element of the Enchanted World. 15 5 points will be awarded to each of you for sheer dumb luck. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. In the Sorcerer's Stone, when Ron, Harry, and Hermione bravely save her from a dreadful troll incident, Professor McGonagall, together with Professor Snape and Quirrell, unexpectedly appear in Hermione's bathroom. And the professors are taken aback by the fact that three 11-year-olds could uh, subdue a fully grown mountain troll. Um, Although she seems impressed, it's clear to McGonagall that they're hiding something. Uh, um, and yet, the sheer amazement remains that these youngsters not only survived the ordeal, but also managed to defeat the fearsome troll. It may only be 2 months into their first year at Hogwarts, but clearly she's already realized that there is more to Harry, Ron, and Hermione than meets the eye, even if she doesn't know what yet. 5 points each seems like a pretty low reward for saving someone's life, especially since she deducted 5 points from Hermione for going after the troll on her own. Uh, this is a perfect example of McGonagall embodying the traits of Gryffindor while understanding how to be an educator. Um, she rewards bravery, but made sure the kids know they shouldn't have done this. Um, um, why is it when something happens, it is always you? Three. Uh, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. In the novel Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Harry, Ron, and Hermione find themselves in another perilous predicament when Katie Bell inadvertently touches a cursed piece of jewelry. Despite surviving, the the details about the nature of the jewelry and how it ended up with her remain mysterious. Uh, uh, Although Harry believes Draco is responsible, Professor McGonagall expresses skepticism When she interrogates them, she shows both frustration and intrigue over the fact that students from her house seem to constantly find themselves in trouble. After all these years, McGonagall isn't surprised to see the trio appear during a crisis, but she can't help voicing her frustration and concern. Of course, she knows that these events often see Harry out, not the other way around, but she's also aware that Harry goes looking for trouble. Regardless, the three of them always seem to find themselves in the thick of things, even when they really don't want to be. It also sets up one of Ron Weasley's best lines. Believe me, Professor, I've been asking myself the same question for 6 years. To then make sense to like Mr. Finnegan. Why don't you confer with Mr. Finnegan? And as I recall, he has a particular proclivity for pyrotechnics. They are obviously outside of the same accuracy. It's no surprise that McGonagall selects her words with such precision, even in times of turmoil and during the Battle of Hogwarts, she stands steadfast by Harry and galvanizes the students and faculty for the battle against Voldemort. In this instance, she's alluding to Seamus Finnegan's propensity for mishaps, as seen throughout nearly 7 films, where his spells often result in accidents due to his wand work not being precise enough. While Fred and George are known for their pranks involving explosions, Finnegan's pyrotechnics are more a product of his miscalculations rather than intentional mischief. She says this while telling Neville to gather all the students together, especially those who have been part of Harry's class since his first year at Hogwarts. This light jab from Professor McGonagall moments before the harrowing Battle of Hogwarts begins is just the encouragement that Seamus and Neville need from their head of house. It also gives Seamus something heroic to do during the battle, since he passes through the battle mostly on mentions. There were many Order of the Phoenix members who fought at the Battle of Hogwarts as well, and they fought bravely with the students in 12. Perhaps it would be more useful if I were to transfigure Mr. Potter and yourself into a pocket watch. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Minerva McGonagall may come off as a serious and formal teacher, but she isn't hesitant to use wit and sarcasm when necessary, especially when correcting her students. For instance, in The Sorcerer's Stone, an important turning point in Ron and Harry's friendship occurs during Transfiguration class when they arrive late. Instead of accepting their flattery, she subtly warns them about being turned into a pocket watch to avoid tardiness again. This incident marks the beginning of their knack for getting into trouble together. And instead of offering forgiveness when Harry claims he was lost, McGonagall proposes a guide or map to help him navigate the castle more effectively, hinting at his inexperience with magic and the complexities of Hogwarts. Hinting. Even though she understands Harry's background, she won't grant him preferential treatment. While she can't technically use transfiguration as punishment, it appears that such a threat isn't empty at Hogwarts. 11 Potter, take Weasley with you. He looks far too happy over there. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. In 2009, in the Order of the Phoenix novel, O.W. Wells' Ordinary Wizarding Levels play a crucial role as they decide which subjects the students can carry on studying at school. at the commencement of Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter and Ron Weasley have underperformed in certain owl subjects, hence they were barred from continuing in some courses. Consequently, they found themselves free during potions class, which is why McGonagall encountered them loitering in the hallway. She was surprised to see them there because Harry needs potions if he intends to become an Auror. The professor swiftly signs up Harry for potions, urging him to head straight to the dungeons without delay, as it's necessary for his education. Although Snape wouldn't permit Harry to carry on, Slughorn accepts students who excelled in their owls with an exceeds expectations grade. Noticing Ron roaring with laughter, she understands that it's beneficial for him to accompany Harry to end of conflict. After, like Harry, potions is one of Ron's less proficient subjects, so it's advantageous that he's there and not getting too carried away and joining himself. We will leave you to deal with the monster. Gilderoy, your skills, after all, are legend. Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets. In the Chamber of Secrets, it's hard not to find satisfaction in this particular line, considering it's aimed at the boastful Professor Gilderoy Lockhart. Throughout the book, he's been known to exaggerate about the numerous accomplishments he claims credit for, which has contributed to his fame. However, his excessive bragging wasn't just annoying. It seemed as though many teachers had started to question whether he was truly telling the truth. Professor McGonagall, who doesn't tolerate dishonesty, certainly isn't amused by Lockhart's antics. And when Ginny Weasley is dragged into the Chamber of Secrets, McGonagall subtly criticizes Lockhart by praising his abilities excessively, knowing full well that he's incapable of managing pixies, alone the creature lurking in the chamber. She intends to make him look foolish, because if she directly challenges him to a fight, he'd flee screaming exactly what she wants. Yet Lockhart creates problems for the characters later in the story. The outcome for Gilderoy Lockhart following the Chamber of Secrets is unfortunate, but watching McGonagall reprimand him with just one sharp remark is gratifying. The first, his name is Voldemort, Filius. You might as well use it. He's going to try to kill you either way. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, as McGonagall sends Neville and Seamus off to safeguard Hogwarts, I find myself inspired by their selfless determination. I won't let Professor Flitwick shirk from the approaching battle. This is what makes McGonagall such a lasting figure, her directness, even when the situation is daunting. She subtly encourages Flitwick to stand tall in the face of impending peril. We both make it through the climactic battle, after all. In this instance, McGonagall was experiencing a significant phase of development. Up until now, she had been hesitant to utter Voldemort's name, opting for you-know-who, much like many in the magical community. And yet, fear of the name merely intensifies the dread of the entity itself. Uh, with courage, McGonagall is stepping into this battle. Many influential figures in Harry's life had advised him not to mention Voldemort's name, but witnessing Harry's tenacity and recognizing that this could be her final stand, McGonagall decides she won't back down without a struggle. With 8, Potter is a boy, not a piece of meat. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. One shocking revelation from is that Dumbledore believed Harry would have to sacrifice his life when confronting Voldemort. In a sense, Dumbledore was prolonging Harry's life until the perfect moment for him to perish. And this is an instance of how Dumbledore let down Harry throughout the series, yet it also showcases his unwavering dedication to ending Voldemort regardless of the consequences. Dumbledore often had to make difficult decisions that put Harry in danger. In The Goblet of Fire, Professor McGonagall expresses concern over the careless discussion among Dumbledore, Snape, and Moody regarding Harry's participation in the Triwizard Tournament, an extremely perilous event they all agree upon. Despite her fears, brave McGonagall stands firm. It's touching to witness her determination to protect Harry, even though he himself isn't privy to this act of loyalty. Professor McGonagall's stance throughout the films serves as a testament that not everyone views Harry solely as a tool for achieving their objectives. And I've always wanted to use that spell. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Super. During an exceptionally brave instance, Professor McGonagall employs a spell that breathes life into every statue and suit of armor found at Hogwarts. This is a spell she's never had to employ before, which is fortunate under normal circumstances. But the Battle of Hogwarts calls for extreme actions. In a solemn instant, McGonagall dispatches these newly animated defenders to the castle's outer limits as a strategic move against the Death Eaters. Yet, even in such a tense situation, she momentarily lightens the mood by expressing her long-held desire to cast this very spell as in this battle for our beloved school. I find great pride and joy in standing alongside fellow students and teachers. And as McGonagall, I can't help but feel a sense of triumph, knowing that I possess the strength and ability to safeguard what holds the greatest importance in my heart. The enchantment animating these statues is nothing short of marvelous. It's a testament to the powerful magic that will undoubtedly aid us in our struggle. Welcome to Hogwarts, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, 2001. Amongst the initial steps taken by the students, Harry, Ron, Hermione, Draco, and others up the stairs of Hogwarts, it is McGonagall who stands resplendent at Summit. Modern Verdant, who has scaled the Leaston to Western Summit. She exudes elegance and strength and an aura of authority that leaves an indelible impression. Being the first person these students encounter within the hallowed halls of Hogwarts, she is quick to extend a warm welcome. Although Harry has been gradually acclimating himself to the enchanting world prior to this moment, This encounter marks a pivotal point from which he can no longer retreat. She may seem strict and scary, but we know from her smile at this moment that McGonagall is warm and loving. Um, when Harry hears her welcome him and the other students to the fabled school, it's the moment he's been waiting for his entire life. And finally, everything has fallen into place, and he no longer feels distant and alienated from the rest of the world. His magical wife has become real, and McGonagall is the person who bridges the gap between wishing for the wizarding world and being part of it. He'll be famous, a legend. Every child in our world will know his name. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, 2001. In the initial installment of the Harry Potter series, McGonagall is introduced as a cat patiently waiting at Privet Drive prior to Hagrid and Dumbledore's arrival. Upon reaching the Dursley residence, anticipating Hagrid with baby Harry, McGonagall voices her worries about entrusting Harry to the Dursleys. She shares her concerns with Dumbledore regarding the Dursleys being a non-magical family who may not be adequately equipped to care for Harry as a wizarding family would. Already at a tender age, McGonagall is demonstrating her protective nature towards Harry's stuff. One of her points is that Dumbledore had a valid rationale for keeping Harry with the Dursley. For I will not have you behaving like a babbling, bumbling band of baboons. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, 2005. The novel, titled, weaves in numerous enjoyable scenes throughout its narrative as it follows characters moving from childhood into adolescence. To put it simply, one of the most memorable milestones is a school dance and employing the Yule Ball as a setting for characters to stumble and express their emotions makes for an effective storytelling method. And in anticipation of this event, Professor McGonagall gathers all Gryffindor students together to teach them the waltz so they can present their school admirably without causing any unnecessary embarrassment to their house. And in the heart of the movie, when she scolds her peers, her clever use of alliteration leaves an indelible mark on the scene. Later on, she playfully chooses Ron as her dance partner, intending to give him a tough time and prove that dancing can be enjoyable. However, many Gryffindors are hesitant about being seen attempting to dance. In the end, Professor McGonagall surprises everyone by having a delightful time at the Yule Ball, even dancing with Dumbledore. And have a biscuit Potter. Um, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. In the novel The Order of the Phoenix, Professor McGonagall has no qualms about expressing her disdain for Dolores Umbridge, the newly appointed Defense Against the Dark Arts instructor. It's not hard to see why she feels this way, as so he's like, Umbridge is a formidable antagonist and one of the most memorable supporting characters introduced in the book. And currently, Harry anticipates McGonagall will reprimand him sternly or raise her voice given her strict adherence to the rules. Yet, unexpectedly, McGonagall extends a biscuit towards him, leaving Harry taken aback and creating an opportunity for them to connect on a more personal level. She understands that yelling at a student is inappropriate, but she also recognizes that Harry's been having a tough time this year and has been unfairly mistreated for claiming Voldemort had returned, and the biscuit may not lessen his difficulties, but it serves as a sign of her support. Um, you see, honorable as your intentions were, you two were out of bed after hours. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. In the Sorcerer's Stone, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione are reprimanded for their late night visit to Hagrid, McGonagall ensures her discipline is impartial. As Draco gleefully watches the trio get into trouble after reporting them, he's taken aback when McGonagall assigns detention to everyone involved, including himself. Dumbstruck, Draco can hardly believe that he too will face punishment for catching Harry, Ron, and Hermione in questionable circumstances. Professor McGonagall recognizes that Malfoy was tailing them with the intent of causing trouble, and she disapproves of such misconduct strongly. She maintains her composure as she voices her objections to his actions, and points out that since he too had violated curfew, he shares their predicament. Although the detention session turns chaotic, it's a minor form of retribution for Malfoy's clandestine activities aimed at disrupting Harry. As an instructor, McGonagall may not take sides, but it's evident that she values her house above all else. It's high time your grandmother learned to be proud of the grandson she's got rather than the one she thinks she ought to have, particularly after what happened at the ministry. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, in the Harry Potter series, Neville is often bullied by many characters. However, as the story unfolds, more people come to appreciate his worth. For instance, in the Order of the Phoenix, Neville demonstrates his courage by joining the fight at the Ministry alongside Harry. This bravery is later acknowledged by McGonagall when she mentions it during a low moment for Neville in The Half-Blood Prince. When Neville is disheartened about his OWL results, McGonagall motivates him to pursue the classes he desires and take pride in how he has shown his strength and courage. Although his grandmother adores him, she doesn't always offer Neville the full support one might expect. A trait McGonagall acknowledges due to her extensive teaching experience. This quote encapsulates the essence of McGonagall and underscores why she is among the finest educators at Hogwarts. She understands when it's appropriate to intervene with encouragement. And her infrequent direct compliments make them even more meaningful when bestowed.